back in 2012, I sat down and wrote a concept paper for Surge, and it was rooted in the fact that we were at the time discussing education as the civil rights issue of our time, but not acknowledging that those who were suffering the injustice of inequity in education, namely folks who were Black and brown and Asian in this country, and those who were from low socioeconomic backgrounds, were not represented at the fight for what we called education reform at the time, or education equity. So Surge was really born out of this desire to mirror social justice movements of the past and say that education equity is only going to be accomplished if we ensure that those folks who are suffering the injustice are at the tables where decisions are being made, where we are driving policy and leadership of organizations that best serve our youth. In terms of like the real sort of light bulb moment for Surge, I had been working in education at the local level in Chicago and then in DC, and leading a national nonprofit, and effectively saw that while those that we served were predominantly poor, Black and brown, when you got to leadership tables and saw where decisions were being made around policy and financing, that those folks were not represented. And I saw that the talent pipelines were disproportionately not supporting women and folks of color getting to senior and executive level roles. So Surge was born out of this desire to say, we actually need to ensure that our folks are at the table, but that when they are at the table, they're there with the knowledge and confidence in their belief in their power. They're there among community and recognizing that they don't have to just operate as solo superheroes, but that we can be a Justice League of united leaders across the education ecosystem. And we wanted to ensure that they were a part of a national network across different types of organizations in the educational ecosystem to drive this forward. When the idea of Surge came about, I floated it around a number of friends. So though I am the founder of Surge, Surge was not simply founded by me. It was a community effort. There were a number of us who were really committed to seeing this thing through. I threw everything that I had into building out this dream. I emptied bank accounts. I took early withdrawals on IRAs. I love to share that the first check that came through for Surge came at a time where I had literally $48.33 to my name. But it was all with this intent to build a movement of, by, and for folks of color to drive education equity in this country. That movement has grown from that concept paper that I wrote at my dining room table to now a movement of over 230 alums across the country that are impacting 3.4 million students across the country. And we're really proud of not only where we've come from, but where we're going. The Surge experience is unlike any other. Our alums talk about it as one of the most transformational leadership experiences that they've ever had. We jokingly say you can't intellectualize the sort of transcendent and spiritual experience that comes with Surge. It is head, heart, spirit, and soul, because we believe that leadership requires all of that if it's going to be leadership done in a different way. We don't just want folks to have seats at the table. We want them to lead differently at that table, and we want them to build tables of their own.